President Trump slamming MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell for falsely reporting that Russian oligarchs co-signed on a loan with Trump. The president's lawyer issued a letter to NBC demanding a retraction and an apology. Trump ramping up his rhetoric against the fake news media in a series of tweets and in an interview with Fox News today.
Lawrence O'Donnell has been saying stuff for 4 years. It's just as wrong. But this was one that he was forced by NBC to apologize for. And what they say is just MSNBC and CNN and all of them for the most part, but they're just really despicable people.
Right.
It's horrible. It's fake news, and it's a shame. And it's so, Brian, it's so bad for our country.
I'm going to bring in Fox News contributor, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be with you, Charles. You know, when you get Rachel Maddow to react negatively and be shocked at something about President Trump, it must be over the top. And when Lawrence O'Donnell said what he did the other night, she reared back in her chair and said, "Are you kidding?" You could tell even she was shocked that he went there. It was truly one of the more outrageous things we've seen on the part of somebody in the media in a while, and we've seen some pretty crazy stuff.
We have seen some pretty crazy stuff. Now, sometimes you can argue there's this haste to have quote-unquote breaking news, but there have also been incident after incident after incident where there had to be major apologies by these journalists, and often there has been serious collateral damage. You know, on more than one occasion, the stock market has swooned on news that was completely false and should have been vetted better.
Well, there's a difference between breaking news and breaking wind. And what Lawrence O'Donnell did was not breaking news. It was breaking wind, and it was embarrassing to the network. It should be embarrassing to him, although I doubt it is. But when you have, like on CNN, where you have some nutcase saying that Donald Trump has been responsible for more deaths of people than Chairman Mao and Hitler and Mussolini, and the host of the show just sits there and lets it go, later pretending that he didn't hear it, well, then get your ears cleaned out, pal, if you're going to host a show and let people say stuff like that. But the net result is people just aren't paying attention to most of the mainstream media because they don't trust it anymore. And sadly, in a time when we really need good journalism, we need good reporting, a lot of the long-standing wannabe journalists are shooting themselves in the foot, and maybe I should say shooting themselves through their own tongues, and making it more and more difficult for anyone to believe them, and more likely that they agree with the president. This is fake news.
Now, how much of a role is it President Trump's constant counterpunching against the media and some of the things he has said about the media? Does that, you know, it doesn't justify what I think has been completely unfair treatment of President Trump since he announced his candidacy, but how much of it stokes these flames and even makes them more eager to go at him?
Oh, I think there's no doubt that they are irate. They want to do everything they can to discredit him. But the best thing that they could do, the antidote to anything he says about fake news or where he slams them, the best thing to do is simply stick to reporting verified facts. But they're in such a hurry to discredit him. They're in such a hurry to get something first rather than right that they end up discrediting themselves rather than him.
Right.
They've got a simple solution. There is a simple road for them to regain their credibility, and it's called report the news and quit making everything your own personal commentary. But they cannot help themselves, but they are helping President Trump by what they're doing.
There's no doubt in my mind they have crossed the Rubicon when it comes to that. No doubt in my mind. It's unfortunate. Quickly, I do want to ask you about the Trump administration erasing Obama-era rules on methane emissions from oil and gas businesses. Now, the EPA estimates a savings of $19 million a year. It's also the kind of thing that they want to hear in certain states. How do you feel about the news?
Well, let's remember that there were new methane limits put on in 2012 when President Obama was in office. Then they changed them in 2016. So what the Trump administration is doing, they're not rolling back past the 2012. They're simply saying that the ones in 2016 were too much, too far. A lot of the energy companies say, you know, they'll continue to do it. Methane is actually going down. But anything the Trump administration does, anything, is going to be viewed as helping to bring about the end of the world as we know it. So we shouldn't be too surprised that people are tearing their garments, and they're now saying instead of 12 years left for the human race to survive, we may be down to 11.
Oh, boy, I hope not. Because I love these interviews with you, and I hope they last more than another 11 years. Governor, thank you very much.